Welcome to this Turning 18 video. Today I will be discussing how drugs and alcohol can impact anyone once they turn 18 years old. There are several components to alcohol that is important to understand. The first is when you can buy or possess alcohol. In Idaho and every state in the US, it is against the law for anyone under the age of 21 to buy or possess an alcoholic beverage. It is understandable that not everyone waits until the age of 21 to drink alcohol. However, it is important to understand that if you buy or possess alcohol before the age of 21, it is illegal, and Idaho sets out several punishments for if you get caught. The first offense is a minor infraction punishable by a $300 fine. The second offense is a misdemeanor punishable by up to $2,000, 30 days in jail, or both. In addition, your driver's license privileges can be suspended for up to 1 year. 3 or more offenses are punishable by a fine up to $3,000, up to 60 days in jail, or both. In addition, your driver's license privileges can be suspended for up to 2 years. Therefore, if you do decide to try to buy or possess alcohol before the age of 21, it is important to realize that you put yourself in violation of the law. The next component to alcohol is when you can sell it. In Idaho, it is illegal to sell or give alcohol to somebody if you are under the age of 21. Once you are 21, you can sell alcohol as long as you have identification. Identification consists of a driver's license, military ID, or passport. But if you don't have identification, then a clerk or bartender cannot sell you alcohol. However, if you are 19 years old, you are allowed to serve alcohol or dispense alcohol beverages during your job. Once you turn 18 and go to college or not, it is important to understand that if you are at a house party, the police will charge anyone over the age of 18 with providing alcohol to a minor if there are any minors at the house party consuming alcohol. In addition, it is important to understand that a college or university can hold you responsible for violating the school's drug and alcohol rules that may or may not be a violation of the law. Therefore, make sure you have proper identification and understand that you can be held liable if minors consume alcohol or be held responsible for violating any college or university rules. The next component is being drunk or high in public. It is illegal to be drunk or under the influence of any drug while driving. Here's the breakdown. If you are under the age of 21, your blood alcohol level cannot be above a 0.02. If you are over the age of 21, your blood alcohol level cannot be above a 0.08. If you are convicted of driving under the influence, the punishment is a $1,000 fine, suspension of your driving privileges, and attending an alcohol or drug awareness program. In addition, it is illegal to walk or ride your bike home drunk or under the influence of drugs if you pose a hazard to yourself or others on the road. An important thing to note is that it is a myth that you will get a DUI if you sleep in your car while intoxicated. You are allowed to sleep in your car and not get a DUI if you do not sleep in the driver's seat and you do not operate your vehicle. However, you can still be cited for sleeping in your car if your car is parked in a restricted area. The next component is using a fake identification. If you use somebody else's driver's license or alter your own to make it look like you're 21, you are breaking the law. If someone gave you their identification, they are guilty of committing a crime. Using someone else's identification, giving someone your identification, or altering your own identification can lead to suspension of your driving privileges for up to 90 days. Let's move on to the topic of drugs. The first topic is steroids. It is legal to use steroids if they are medically provided. It is illegal to use steroids if they are not for medical use. Illegal distribution of steroids in Idaho is punishable up to 5 years in prison and a fine up to $15,000. Illegal distribution of steroids under federal law is punishable up to 10 years in prison and a fine up to $500,000. It is important to understand that it is a misdemeanor to be present where you know drugs are being made, held, or used. If you are convicted of possessing or distributing drugs, you can be barred from receiving certain federal benefits, such as student grants or student loans, for up to 5 years after conviction. In addition, if you possess or distribute drugs in a school zone, it is punishable up to 10 years in prison and a fine up to $25,000. Drugs also include marijuana. Marijuana guidelines vary by state. Many states have made marijuana legal for recreational or medical purposes. However, marijuana is still illegal in Idaho. Possession of marijuana in Idaho comes with punishments. 3 or less ounces of marijuana is punishable up to 1 year in jail and a fine up to $1,000.
Bringing marijuana across state lines is punishable up to 15 years in prison and a fine up to $50,000. Possession of marijuana carries a felony charge. In addition, if you are in possession of more drugs than someone could reasonably possess for personal use, then you could be charged with the intent to sell, which is also a felony. It is important to note that large quantities of drug possession can lead to a punishment of life in prison. Lastly, using someone else's prescription drug is a felony. It is important to realize that using drugs can lead to addiction and can increase the risk of injury or death. On the National Institute on Drug Abuse website, you can find information on the different types of drugs and possible health effects that those drugs can have on you. I want to remind you that colleges can hold you responsible for violating the school's drug and alcohol policies that may or may not be a violation of Idaho or federal law. Thank you for watching this Turning 18 video.